Hey, Rob, what's going on, man?
What's up?
Can you hear me okay right now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you great, man.
Awesome.
Okay, very cool, man. So, man, how's your day going here so far?
Good. It's a good Monday. We had a good service yesterday and good stuff happening today.
Awesome, man. You guys are in Dover, Ohio, is that right?
Yep.
Okay, very cool. Where exactly is that in Ohio?
The Pro Football Hall of Fame, Canton, Ohio?
Yeah.
Okay, 20 minutes south.
Okay, very cool.
Yep. And you're in Oklahoma?
Yep, we're in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Gotcha.
And I've actually been here. So I grew up on the East Coast in Maryland. Used to drive through Columbus, Ohio all the time whenever I drive back and forth to ORU at college. Because you basically just take Highway 70 pretty much all the way.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, anyway, man, that's really cool. So, what I really wanted to do is I just kind of want to jump on here. Heather had given me a shout or whatever, just saying to give you a call and kind of see what's going on. So I don't even have a whole lot of context for the conversation. I just wanted to check in with you and see how we can help, man.
Yeah. So we did the week trial with you guys. We had around 47 people respond.
Okay.
We did not do the recorded prayers back. We did written prayers back.
Okay.
Just because our team, we've got a very small team. I was just installed as a pastor 2 weeks ago. So
wow. Okay.
when I connected with you guys was whenever I knew we were in the process of transition. So I talked with, I think it was Caleb.
Caleb, yeah.
Yeah. I talked with Caleb, and when we were talking, he's like, well, you want this week of trial to be right after you take over. Well, that was probably, and I agree that was great. I think it was just a little much for our team to handle. So we went through that. We answered them. We, talked to them and stuff. We didn't have anybody show up. A lot of people promised the plan your visit thing. We really didn't see the fruition of what we were hoping to see. But you know what? It was the first week of doing it, and I totally understand. So Caleb had said, when that happens, when you get down to that weekend, make sure if you're not going to continue that you contact us. And so what I did was I did a report of what had happened, all the responses, all that stuff that I will take to council and talk about if we can jump in and do something like this. But I can't make that unilateral decision. I was able to do the trial because it was just the cost of the ads, which I paid for out of my pocket. I'm not worried about it, but I can't make that personal commitment to pay the $500 for you guys and then all the ads out of my personal account like I did on the trial. But anything over $300, I have to get council approval, and all that. You've done this long enough to know. So
yeah.
What I wanted to do was take them the results of this 1 week trial and say, this is what happened spending X amount of dollars. If we want to continue, we're going to pay $500 to the company, and then we're going to pay that much for ads for a month. What are their thoughts on that? So that's really the plan. And I had told Caleb that whenever we started that would have to be it, because as being installed a week ago, I can't just run in here and say, oh yeah, we're going to commit to $3,000 a month to grow the church.
Sure.
I am strategic about how I believe me, it's good, and I want to be able to do it, but I can't push that. So I can't use that much credibility or whatever you call it, capital, to try to pull something off that we haven't seen a return on, because we've only done it 1 week. I know it takes a while to get it going, but that's why. So I just sent Heather a note saying, hey, this is the plan. I'll have to take it to council. We had over 40 responses. That's great. I want to continue doing it, but I can't allocate the funds to do it right now. But I'd love to, turn it back on at the end of the month. Our council meeting will be on the 26th, Thursday, the 26th. That evening is our council meeting. So I would love to come back to you guys at the beginning of October and say, let's hammer it for 3 months and see. But I can't make that commitment.
Okay.
But I love the process. I love the process, and we already have an internal process for new connections and that kind of stuff. One thing that we aren't very good at. So like if we have a visitor, we have a follow-up process for them. So we're calling on Monday. They're getting a Starbucks card on Wednesday. They're getting an email on Friday, and they're getting a direct Facebook message on Saturday saying we're here tomorrow. So we do that for 3 weeks. If they don't come back up to 3 weeks, we put them in the hopper of emails and just let them get what we're doing. But we do that for 3 weeks. So that part of the process I brought in. We've been doing it at the church. I've been here 5.5 years on the team.
Okay.
But then our senior pastor was called out. I was appointed here as the lead pastor. So a lot of that process has been built over the last few years of me just working with the team and saying, we gotta make it relevant to these people that are coming in. So my next thought was, okay, how do we get more people coming in since the process is here? And that's where I saw you guys on a Facebook ad, and I was like, you know what, this may be a great way to be able to pull that off. But obviously, the restraints of ministry. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you this on the plan your visits. I'm assuming if you weren't sending the audio prayers, you probably weren't calling the plan your visits either. Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And one of the hard things for me to figure out was, number one, where are the plan your visit connections in a list that I could just pull them up easily?
Okay.
That was something that was hard for me to understand. And I went through all 3 of your videos and I got the PDF. The plan your visit thing was a little confusing to me.
Okay, that makes sense. So if you have the notifications on, then the plan your visits come straight to your phone. It actually says, so the weird thing is there's, and this is just kind of how the Facebook's set up, right? So you have the Facebook Pages app, and you also have Facebook Messenger. And then you also have to have the ManyChat. So let me see. I'm actually in your the account that we set up for you on ManyChat. I wonder. So do you remember if you were able to set up your if you're an admin on ManyChat, if you set that up? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm in ManyChat as an admin. Yep.
Okay. So so if you have your messenger notifications on. So what I always do is I turn the messenger notifications on, and I turn the pages notifications off. And the reason is because if you have those pages notifications, even if you get 4 prayer requests per day, but each of those are answering like 5 questions, right? Like you're getting like 20 buzzes on your phone per day, and it's just not sustainable, right? For the first couple of days, like, this is awesome, and then eventually, like, this sucks. Like, this is crazy.
That's where I was about Saturday. I was like, okay, when is this ad going off? Because there's too much to keep track of. But then you said the many pages or ManyChat notifications. Is that what you had said?
Yeah. So if you have that the ManyChat notifications turned on, which if you're an admin, that probably should be, and then you have your messenger turned on, what'll happen is you'll just have. See, I'll pull it up, show you. You'll only have messages from Messenger, and you'll only get a notification when someone submits the prayer request, and then you'll get a second one whenever they plan a visit. So cool about that. Let's see. I'll pull up one here. So here's this church right here. So if you can see my screen there, see like that, there's a plan your visit, right? Like, so-and-so just planned a visit, and then you can just click that, and it pulls up like their name, email, phone number. You just click on their phone number and call them right away, and then you'll get let's see this one. Oh yeah. So if you can see like that one in the middle, that's just a prayer request, and like, hey, so-and-so just sent a prayer request, right?
Yeah.
So you can check it. That helps. So that way, if you get 4 prayer requests in a day, you're only getting 4 notifications. And then if one of them plans a visit, you also get to plan your visit, because that's the one, that's time sensitive.
Yeah.
What I was doing, like, for when I was like replied to them, is I would specifically just, I'd wait till the end of the day. If I had some time during the day, whatever, it's like, okay, I'd grab my phone and respond. But as long as by the end of the day, I make sure to go in and send audio prayers and respond to everybody during the day. Then you're hitting them up and you're still hitting them same day. The only ones that are time sensitive are the plan your visits, right? So if you don't reach out to a plan your visit within 15 minutes, what we found is the chance of getting them to show up goes to almost nothing. And the reason is that, nobody likes automated systems. So people don't mind automation when a human jumps in, which is why the sequences work, especially and that's why we say, hey, sending that audio prayer, because they make an emotional connection with it, right? So all of a sudden, they actually hear your voice or someone on your team's voice, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's an actual human being on the other side, and they're praying for me, right? And immediately fosters that connection. And psychologically, there's even the law of reciprocity, right? Where, man, they prayed for me, and I want to, now we have this connection, I want to show up. And then, and that's why the plan your visit, hey, would you like to come out so we can pray for you in person? Most people would would prefer people to pray for them in person than just over the internet, right? So that's why a lot of those naturally spill over into plan your visits. And then some people just RSVP, will just say, hey, yeah, I'm coming, but they don't end up submitting all their information. We get that at our church all the time, right? Or people just show up and hey, you guys prayed for me. But in the plan your visits, we're like, okay, man, awesome. Hey, come on over here. Let me introduce you to Pastor Jeremy or Pastor Nina, or, So that happens quite a bit. But that's why the phone call to the plan your visits is really important, because it's that sense of emotional connection. They need to know there's a human being on the other side. Say, hey, Sarah, I just saw your plan your visit. I just want to introduce myself. My name's Pastor Chris. Man, super excited about meeting you on Sunday. Do you have any questions before you show up? Right, and so sometimes people do, sometimes they don't. Most of the time, people don't answer the phone. So you just leave a voicemail, and then they're like, oh, that's the same guy who prayed for me. I recognize the voice. And then you just send a text and says, hey, Sarah, this is Pastor Chris. Saw that you planned your visit for Sunday. Just want to let you know I'm excited about meeting you. When you get here, get here about 10 minutes early, so we can connect. I'd love to buy you a cup of coffee. Do you think you can make it at 9:45? I always like to end it with a question, because now they feel on the hook to respond. And now it's creating a conversation rather than just having an automated sequence.
So that's the piece that's obviously the piece that we missed. So not seeing that, I didn't have many chat notifications on. That was my problem. So I had Messenger on and Pages on. So that's where I missed it. But but I can see how I definitely see the plan and how to do it. I just missed it this week. So
sure, makes sense.
But I mean, yeah, I can see it and connect to it. I just need to figure out that notification process so that I'm not getting bombarded with a million messages. And then, yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah. So that let me throw one more thing at you, Rob. I don't know if this helps out in your situation or not, but so when you meet with the council, I'll just give you a second option. We just started doing this last week, literally, because somebody asked it, and I was like, that's actually a great idea. We never thought about that. So the reason we charge $500 a month is because we're managing the whole system right here, and we've got a team at your disposal. We've had some churches who are like, hey, this is awesome, but it's not sustainable for us to just pay a team long term to do this. We'd rather just own the system. So what we do is for just a one-time investment of $1,500, we'll just build out the whole system, and then you have lifetime access. You just say, hey, here it is. You've got the ad, you've got the chatbot, ManyChat, everything. We turn it over to you, and then you can literally keep it forever. So that way you can turn on the ads for a while, and you're doing prayer requests, and it's like, oh, I'm getting a little bombarded, so you can just turn them off for a while, kind of pause them, and it's like, oh, Christmas is coming up, turn them back on, right? And that way you guys have it forever, and instead of being reliant on us and always having to pay $500.
Okay, so quick question on that.
Sure.
Would there be training on how you connect? So one thing I don't completely understand, I don't understand at all, is how Facebook ads connect to Messenger and all that stuff. So would there be explanations on how that works, so that if we want to create a different kind of ad, that we could connect it to ManyChat? Or is that something that you guys, I'm not saying that you guys actually do the training, but can you connect us to the training on ManyChat or somehow, so we know how to do that in the future in case something would break? Because I've been in your shoes. I know one of the companies I worked with, we started doing that where we made it simple for people to get the system, and then we started getting all these million phone calls, and it was it wasn't worth it. So I don't want to tax your company. I don't want to tax your company with questions from a team saying, hey, this ad isn't working. It's something broke. What do we need to do to fix it? I don't want that to be on your plate. So would there be some training involved?
Yeah, so I'll tell you what I can do. And I'm really glad we're having this conversation, Rob, because just like that conversation led to us saying, hey, if you guys want to own the system, we've already had several churches like, yeah, we'd rather just buy the system and own it. I like this idea. So, something we could do is, so we're actually creating training. So we have an online course that we released back in January called Church Marketing Rescue. It's basically like plug and play Facebook ads for the year. Where we literally like created all the Facebook ad videos, all the copy, all the headlines, just copy paste. But in there, we have some training on, hey, if you want to run your own Facebook ad, here's how to do that. Right? Here's how to write a Facebook ad that's going to connect with people and that kind of stuff. And we're actually building out a section specifically on chatbot ads. We've been hesitant for exactly the reason you're saying, right? It's like, I know that if we've got, I think we sold that to about 150 churches or something. And so if 150 churches are like all hitting us up about technical chatbot stuff, I'm like, I don't even do chatbots, right? Like I have two guys that do them because I got into them. I'm like, I get it, but I don't want to become an expert in here, right? Like but like those guys love it, right? And it's like, oh yeah, it makes sense to them. It's like, well, we just have to direct them to ManyChat support if they have chatbot questions. Like that's not something we can do if they have like, ad questions or something like that. Anyway, so my point is we actually just decided recently, like, hey, let's just pull the trigger. Like this is the most powerful thing we've ever seen. Let's just put it inside of CMR and do that. So that's $1,000 course. But what I could do is I could just, if you guys do the 1,500 like buy the system, I'll just throw in that $1,000 course for free. So that way you'll have that training that we're throwing in there. Which is literally how to create chatbot ads and all that stuff. But then it's also, there's also like 12 months of Facebook ads in there. And then I actually think the most valuable part, I'm biased because I wrote these playbooks, but there's playbooks for every single, so there's like an Easter playbook, there's a Beat the Summer Slump playbook, there's a Back to School playbook. I'm about to drop here in about 2 weeks, the Fall Festival like playbook. And it's literally like, they're all like 17 to 19 page PDFs, like literally say, like walk you step by step, like do this, do this, do this, do this. Like the Easter one, I literally said, I promise if you do everything in this playbook, you'll double your church on Easter. Every single church that did either doubled or tripled their weekly attendance on Easter. With that.
So what are you doing for Christmas? That'll be my first big holiday.
Okay, so Christmas, I haven't put together the playbook yet. But I created a bunch of Facebook ads, like Christmas Facebook ads last year that worked really, really well. My thought is this year I want to turn them into messenger chatbot ads because I think creating conversations around the holidays, around Christmas, around Jesus is what's going to get a bunch of people into church, right? People are already open to it. It's like Easter, right? Like Easter is significant to us because Jesus rose from the dead, but really like we live resurrected lives. So it's like that's cool, but every day is Easter for us as Christians. Right. The reason it's significant is because people who are far from God feel compelled to come to church on Easter, right? Like that's really like the great thing. It's like the one day out of the year we don't have to work so hard. People just show up anyway, right? So if we plan that and create a compelling invite, then people show up. Well, Christmas has that same pull, right? People are already thinking about Jesus, they're already thinking about church. A lot of people are kind of lonely and depressed around Christmas time, so it's a great time for the church to swoop in and just offer hope. So that's kind of what our thought is for Christmas. We haven't built those out yet. So it'll be some type of chatbot things. The cool thing is like with CMR, what we'll do is whenever we create new chatbot ads, we're just going to drop them into that course. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's why I'm like, oh man, I'm glad we're talking about this because I wouldn't have even thought about that, but we'll drop them in there. So then you can set them up yourself. Right. So because ManyChat has like a link where you click that link and it'll automatically import the flow into your account. And then you just have to go like kind of make a couple of adjustments, so, add in your service times and your name and that kind of stuff. But
gotcha. Okay, so we're looking at 1,500 would be the deal, plus obviously ad spend. But to get the system and then we'd be able to get those PDFs because they're in the course that shows what we could do past that. I mean, I'm after seeing 47 comments and I think if I would have engaged a little more in it and known, like, really processed what I needed to do with the plan your visits, I think we would have had some visits. And so I think that's fine. What I like about it is I know that AI is the future. I get it. Yeah. I don't want to. I'm like you. I don't want to know all the ins and outs about it. But if there's things that we can just click and submit, that's perfect for what we need to do. we're in a
Yeah.
city. This is really weird. We're in a city that is our county is 90,000 people, and
Okay.
there's like 400 churches. I mean, like we're bombarded with churches, yet none of them are alive. And so I'm like coming in younger than our previous pastor, and a different anointing is on me than was on him. I'm like, I could literally throw a baseball and hit 20 houses around us that have kids that don't go anywhere. They're out playing on Sunday morning. And so our anointing going forward is going to be to go out and get those people that aren't connected. I'm not looking to grow by church transfers. I'm looking to go by people meeting the King. And so, so it sounds like this is a perfect opportunity to invest in something that would be long-term going this route. I knew it would be very hard to propose to them $500 a month for a 6-month commitment or whatever, and be like, plus you're going to spend $1,000 a month on ads.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, that's a good opportunity. I appreciate it. And, so I'll meet with them on the 26th. And so the way that it works here is we in the past haven't had like special meetings for this stuff. It's just always that day.
Okay.
So I would love to reach back out to you guys, on the, right after that, maybe Friday, and connect with you guys and say, hey, I mean, I would love to do it. It's just, can I convince them? And I'm going to take everything that we've talked about here, as well as the results of the actual just ads being out there, and present that to them as well, so they have some context. And I will talk about the Plan Your Visit. Inside of ManyChat, I can probably go and pull the Plan Your Visit list, right?
Yeah, let's see. So it looks like you had 2 planned visits and then 3 RSVPs. So yeah, I could probably just screenshot them for you.
Well, yeah, I would love to take those as well and say, listen, we had 5 people that were close.
Yeah.
We just need to do better at making sure we're calling them. But I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's the so let's see here. Actually, I think total you had 55 subscribers. Yeah, 55 subscribers had let's see. So this is saying 55 subscribers, 38 prayer requests, 3 RSVPs, and 2 planned visits.
Okay.
So, and what's cool about that, and Caleb probably told you this, but here's like you mentioned like AI being the future, right? Like one of the reasons I'm all in. Like I told our team, I just said, hey, we used to sell had like a Facebook ad service we did for $1,500 a month where we were doing all kinds of like custom ads and stuff. And I shut that program down because as effective as that was, it's nothing compared to this, right? Like it's just like, and I just felt like, man, if I sold that to churches, it's just not as effective as this. But what's massively effective is doing that in tandem with this, right? And so that's why like the CMR, right? It's talking about like traffic ads. So and versus this right here. But here's my favorite part about these ads, and this is why I'm so pumped, is because Facebook Messenger, because you continue to amass subscribers, right? So like we ran this. So our church, luckily they've had me running, or I ran Facebook ads for about 2 years there while I was on staff. Now there's another guy who runs all the Facebook ads, but like they get it. They saw all the numbers. They saw the increase. They saw the people when we launched Plan Your Visit. Like, hey, got this idea. I've seen Plan Your Visit. I think I can use Facebook ads to actually get people to sign up for it. Right? Saw the explosion. So they get it. So they invest pretty heavily into Facebook ads now. But so when we ran this in the first month, we had almost 1,000 subscribers. Right, and then like 549 prayer requests, and 85 Plan Your Visits, and we had 26 RSVPs, right? In like the first 33 days, I think it was. Well, the great thing is, this is what I kept telling church. I'm like, hey, it's not just those 1,000 subscribers, right? But it's like, but if we just stay on this pace, not only are we creating relationship equity and leadership equity, creating these industry conversations with people who are within driving distance of the church, but by Christmas, we'll have 5,000 people on on our messenger, right? Which that messenger list is basically like an email list with massively higher engagement and open rates, right? So email, which you've probably seen if you guys have like an email newsletter, typically it's like 15 to 20%.
Correct.
Like open rate, right? Well, messenger is 93%. Right. So what happens is by Christmas, we'll have 5,000 people who are on our messenger list that we can send an invite to Christmas Eve. And if we did nothing else, all we did was send out an invite, because it comes to messenger. So 93% open rate. That means 4,650 people are going to open that out of the 5,000 and be invited to our Christmas Eve service. I was like, but when you play it out and you look long term, which most people, it's just in church, it's natural to look towards like this Sunday or like next month. When you really look long term, I said in 2020, by Easter, we'll have 10,500 people on our messenger list that we can hit up for free. By Mother's Day, it's 11,500. By the time the summer slump rolls around, it's 13,000. Back to school, 16,000. Trunk or treat next year will be 18,000. And by Christmas of 2020, we'll have 20,000 people on our messenger list. It's like doing a direct mail campaign that we could do once a week with massively higher engagement, open rates, and response rates. And we can have a conversation with every single one. People can be like, hey, like, is there going to be childcare at the Christmas Eve services, right? And we can have, people going there, yeah, absolutely. So it's the reason I'm so excited about this long term, right? I feel like the future of ministry, especially the future of outreach ministry, is Facebook Messenger. We'll continue to find new ways to use it, but the only other thing that's even close to being like this is just from a broadcast standpoint, not even talking about the Facebook ads, but the subscriber stands, is like email, and email's nothing compared to this. So it's one of the reasons I'm so excited about it long term. But anyway, yeah, I mean, so
and it's less invasive than text messaging, although but yeah, hey, it's good because through the funnel we obviously get their cell phone number, which is really cool. So good. Okay. Cool, well, I think I have the data I need for this. Do you mind sending me the recording of this? That way I could even let the council watch this as well, see your energy and everything else. And and I'll take the stats to them, and I'll even reach out to those 5 people that connected with us about visiting and RSVP. And
perfect.
I think we're good.
Okay.
So
awesome,
in the meantime, if everything is up and running and I could get ad spend approved, because it's under the $300, if I just say, hey, I want to do another 4 days or 5 days, can we do that? Because I know how to pay for the ad, just leave it on.
Okay.
Is that available or not? If it's not, it's okay.
I mean, we've never done it before, but yeah, I'll do it for you.
I mean, it doesn't matter because I'm paying for the ads anyway. So yeah, if I just leave it on, and after I'll talk to them. But if I just said, hey, I want to do like $200 more worth of ads and see what happens whenever I'm actually calling the plan your visits, because that was my mistake. To be able to say, hey, this next few days, if we get any more plan your visits, I'm going to follow up with them and do this. Maybe they would let me do that. I don't know. But I know how to turn it back on if I need to, just on the ad, just flip it on.
Yeah. So what I would recommend though is, so have us do it, because what we'll do is we'll duplicate the ad set and then just start up a new one, right? So if you turn the old one back on, it'll work, but it'll go slower and it won't ever get back to the momentum that it had. But if we just duplicate it and start it fresh, then it'll come.
I won't worry about it. I don't want you guys doing any extra work. I'll just wait till the 26th then. It's not a problem.
Either way, man, just let us know. We can make it happen.
Okay. That sounds awesome, Chris. Thanks for your time today.
Yeah. So let's do this, Rob. I'll send you this recording here. I'll upload it to YouTube real quick and just send you the link, make it easier to watch. And then you're meeting the 26th. You want to meet the 27th. What if we just do like the same time on the 27th?
Yeah, 11 a.m.
Yep, we'll do Eastern. 11 a.m. on the 27th. Yeah, let's do 11 a.m. Eastern. It'll be 10 o'clock my time. And we just do Zoom again. We'll just hop on and kind of go from there.
Yep, just send me the link prior to the meeting and I'll jump on.
Okay, love it, bro.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you, man.
All right. Great,
Thanks.
Rob. Good to talk to you, man. See you, brother.
Yeah, bye.